Imagine this. You wake up, rub your eyes, and before your feet even hit the floor, you reach for your phone. A quick scroll through social media, and there it is. Some guy from college is vacationing in Bali, sipping a cocktail under a golden sunset. Another just bought his dream car, posing next to it like a magazine cover model. Someone else is celebrating their engagement, showered with thousands of likes and comments. And you're sitting there, staring at your screen, wondering why your life doesn't look like theirs. And that's exactly where Mark Manson punches you in the gut with the truth. Happiness is overrated. Not because happiness doesn't matter, but because the way we chase it is completely backward. We've been told that we should always be happy, always feel good, always be winning. But real life doesn't work that way. Life is full of struggle. It's full of pain, failure, and disappointment. And the sooner you accept that, the freer you become. The trick isn't to avoid problems. It's to choose the problems worth struggling for. That's what not giving a fuck really means. It doesn't mean being indifferent. It doesn't mean being an emotionless rock. It means being selective. It means understanding that your time, energy, and mental space are limited. Every day, you have only so many fucks to give, so why waste them on things that don't matter? Imagine you're given 1,000 gold coins, and each coin represents a fuck you can give in your lifetime. Every time you worry about what someone thinks of you, every time you stress over a minor inconvenience, every time you obsess over being liked, you spend a coin. The problem? Most people burn through their coins on things that bring them nothing in return. And then, when it actually matters, when life throws a real challenge at them, they have nothing left to give. That's the trap. Manson's message is simple. Stop giving a fuck about everything and start giving a fuck about the right things. And here's the truth that nobody wants to hear. Happiness doesn't come from avoiding problems. It comes from solving them. Think about it. The happiest moments of your life? They didn't come from sitting around doing nothing. They came from pushing through something difficult, from struggling and coming out stronger. Maybe it was learning a skill, building something meaningful, fixing a broken relationship, or fighting for something you cared about. That's what people don't understand. Pain is a feature of life, not a glitch. The only question is, which pain are you willing to endure? You want to be fit? Then you have to be willing to endure the pain of waking up early, sweating in the gym, feeling sore, and eating clean. You want to build a business? Then you have to embrace the pain of failing, losing money, working late nights, and dealing with uncertainty. You can't avoid struggle, but you can choose which struggle is worth it. And the irony? The people who try to avoid struggle at all costs, the ones who chase comfort and ease, they end up the most miserable. Because life doesn't reward those who run from difficulty. It rewards those who face it head-on. And here's where it gets even more real. Most of us? We're not special. We've been told since childhood that we're unique, that we're meant for something extraordinary, that we deserve success simply for existing. But Manson strips away that illusion. He tells us, straight up, most of us are average. Most of us won't be famous, won't change the world, won't leave behind some legendary legacy. And that's okay. The problem is, when you believe you're special, you expect life to be easy. The moment you face struggles, you think something is wrong, like the universe is unfairly targeting you. But that's not how life works. Life doesn't owe you anything. And when you accept that something incredible happens, you stop chasing meaningless validation. You stop demanding that life be easier, and instead, you start focusing on actually doing something meaningful with your time. But here's where things get even crazier. There's a paradox in life, something Manson calls the backwards law. The more you chase something, the more you reinforce the fact that you don't have it. The more you chase happiness, the more unhappy you feel. The more you try to be confident, the more insecure you become. The more you try to be liked, the more desperate you appear. And that's because constantly focusing on what you lack makes you feel worse about it. You can see it everywhere. The people who desperately want to be rich feel poor no matter how much money they make. The people who chase popularity always feel like they're not good enough. The people who constantly post about how happy they are, they're usually the ones most miserable. So, what's the solution? It's counterintuitive, but it's simple. Stop chasing and start living. Accept your flaws. Accept that you'll never be perfect. Accept that sometimes you'll fail, that sometimes you'll be sad, that sometimes life will suck. And when you stop resisting, you start moving forward. That's the real trick. And speaking of failure, let's talk about that. Most people fear failure so much that they never even try. They sit on ideas, waiting for the perfect moment. They want guarantees before they take risks. They want certainty before they make a move. But here's the truth. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's the path to it. The most successful people in the world, they didn't avoid failure. They embraced it. They failed, learned, failed again, improved, and kept going. If you want to be good at something, you have to start by being bad at it. It's that simple. You don't get to skip the messy, embarrassing, frustrating first steps. The sooner you accept that, the faster you'll grow. And here's another hard truth. Your life is your responsibility. Everything that happens, even the things that aren't your fault, are still your responsibility. Because blaming others is easy, but it makes you powerless. Taking responsibility, on the other hand, gives you control. You can't always control what happens, but you can control how you respond. And that changes everything. And finally, the biggest reality check of all, you are going to die. One day, all of this, your worries, your insecurities, your fears, they'll all disappear. And that's not a bad thing. That's liberating. Because once you accept that your time is limited, you stop wasting it. You stop chasing empty goals. You stop giving a fuck about things that don't actually matter. And that's the core message of this book. Stop giving a fuck about everything. Stop wasting your time and energy on things that bring no real value. Choose your struggles wisely. Accept that failure is part of the process. Take responsibility for your life. And most of all, remember that the only fucks worth giving are the ones that make your life truly meaningful. So, the real question is, what are you going to give a fuck about? If you liked this summary, consider subscribing to our channel. Your support gives us the motivation to keep creating more engaging content.